It's loading. And we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody. Streaming live to you today from all over North America is myself, Maria, as well as all my awesome, some of my awesome team of mods. We have here Tom, Josh, and Badger, who will very soon introduce themselves. Badger is a bit shy, but I'm sure he'll come up very, very soon. You'll see him. It's going to be very funny. So let's start with a quick elevator speech. Let's introduce ourselves, and we will start with Tom because he's at the very top. Tom,
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks, Maria. Hello, everyone. I'm Tom. I'm currently in Texas. Been working in tech for the past 4 or 5 years. Very much of a noob. I'm still learning. Came across to Maria's channel about a year and a half ago. And ever since then, I got stuck because she does make awesome content. Besides that, I'm part of her Discord community, also one of her mods, and we do have a lot of fun pretty much all the time. So come join us, and I'll pass on
Awesome.
to Josh.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Tom. Great to meet you. Well, I know you already, but people are saying hello in the comments already. Good evening. Hello to everyone. Thank you for joining us. Josh, tell us a bit about yourself.
All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Josh. I'm also in Texas. I am up north, whereas Tom's more down south. But I used to be in the military. And so when I got out, I started my tech career also around 2016 or so. So I've been just learning on YouTube so much. And I saw Maria's videos and I reached out and I ended up becoming a Discord mod, one of the first ones, just by chance. So, yeah, it's been awesome to just continue learning from her videos and having the community. And I learn just creating like the Discord bots and all the different rules and meeting all the different people. So it's pretty awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, I know the guys are saying they're learning from me, but I learn a lot from them. They're just being modest here. And Badger, will you come to say hi? Will you grace us with your presence, Badger?
Okay.
Well,
I had to do it. I had to make it. Okay. I'm Badger.
Introduce us. Introduce yourself, please.
I'm Badger. I was also in the military, same branch as Josh. Then I've been in the tech field for a little bit. I'm one of a senior engineer. Joined the Discord community, trying to do more in the community, open source, because most of my stuff has been like proprietary or locked behind closed doors. So joined the community, and then Josh was like, "Hey, you're gonna become a mod now," and I was like, "All right," and been doing stuff ever since.
Super mod.
Oh, yes, it's been.
I think Badger skipped many steps along the way. Usually you start with a light moderator, and Badger came with so much knowledge, then we're just like, let's just give him all the permissions.
Yeah,
He knows what he's doing.
This guy's so good. I need him. I need him. Pump him up.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining the stream. Thank you for everybody in the comments. We have some participants from the Code Jam. We have Beluga here. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for your comments. We will go over them shortly. We will see what you're asking. Oh, we have some questions for our Texas people. Nice. And we have some comments about Badger's appearance. I bet you. Cool. So we have two very important missions today. The first mission is to announce the winners of the Code Jam, which is very important. And the second mission is to discuss what the heck is going on with Twitter and their deal. It's really, really messy, and it's kind of a very it came out recently, some extra information about the deal that I would like to share with you guys. And the reason why I do so is because we're building bots on this channel. So talking about bots is very important. And yeah, cool. So let's start with the jam winners. And before we do so, I want to present you all the different projects we had. So we had all kinds of teams joining the jam. We had many teams, but who ended up getting to the finish line are four 4 lovely teams, and their project go as follows. So the first project is by Beluga, who you can find in the comments right over here. There you go. He's awake. He's awake especially for that. Who created the music player? Now, this music player, you can select a song from your computer, and you can then play it here. This is made with JavaScript, CSS, and HTML. That's the first project we have reviewed. The second project is the Kakadu FM. And by the way, you can find all those projects in the description. If you're curious, you can check it out. Now, Kakadu FM have created a full-blown executable software, but we couldn't get it to work, unfortunately. We tried. It didn't load, but yet it's still quite impressive. You can take a look at the screenshots and everything. All the information is there. If you ever end up changing this project, if you end up fixing some stuff, let me know. I'm going to present it in a live stream as well. Next, we have a screen reader, which is an extension for Chrome. We got it to work once. It worked. In fact, Badger is still traumatized, I believe. He was the one testing it on his end, and it just started talking out of the blue, which was quite scary, but still it worked. We just couldn't get it. We just couldn't recreate it. It worked once, and we couldn't figure out how to make it work again. But yeah, it obviously works. Obviously works. And the last project is the Vaporwave. Wave it. Sorry, guys, I'm an immigrant. It's hard for me to pronounce W's and V's in the same word. And you can find their project right over here. They actually built something. Ooh, it used to be right over here. Used to be. Yesterday it was when I was looking for it. Well, okay. I'm going to pull it out I'm going to pull it out again. Can you guys send me maybe a link? Because I know that Josh is on YouTube, so he probably has access to the description. Maybe you can send me a link. Or I can find it here. I just close it, right, in the history. It's funny because you don't think straight when you're speaking live. So, yeah. Let's see. Recently closed, not found. That was the one. Okay, so this is a very sophisticated project, Vaporwave. I wish I knew. The hosting is not really working, but what they've done is they manipulated sound with Python. They loaded the sound with JavaScript. They created a Flask application. So basically it involves HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Python. Everything is very, very modular. Everything is organized into nice classes. Amazing. So are you guys ready to announce the winners? I would like to see some drum beats, so please unmute yourself. And I want to see some table drum beats. Are we ready? Announcing the winners, and the winners are Vaporwave it. Woo! Okay, so we will explain what we liked about it. Each of us will say at least one thing. Now, I'm going to start with the fact that everything is so modular. Every little piece of code, every little piece of functionality is separated from other functionalities. And if we take a look at the actual audio processing code, it was done, the manipulation was done with Python, which is incredible. This is using NumPy in most cases. You can see how everything is organized into classes and into different methods. Everything is enclosed. That's what I enjoy the most about the project. Now, I wonder what the guys are thinking. Let's start with Tom.
Hey, you pretty much said the same thing I was going to say, but thanks for stealing my words.
Sorry.
The best part of this is exactly how modular it is. When we're working, say, in a production environment, one thing you have to keep in mind, like you can pretty much code anything and be able to run a program, but it will also have to be readable. That means you cannot overly complicate your project. It has to be easy for somebody else to be able to read and understand what's going on behind the scene. So this is what I really liked about this project. It's very organized. It's very modular, easy to read and understand. And yeah, great job, guys. I'll pass on to Josh.
Yeah, there's lots of comments too. Everything is really clear.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I absolutely loved about this team as we were moderating is just looking at their communication. I mean, they were on top of it, always communicating, always having team meetings, trying to figure out what they need to do to get all the little things working in this. And that really shined for me. And then, seeing the finished product out of all the other ones, this one just stood out.
Awesome. Badger, last but not least.
I appreciate the fact that they commented their code, and their installation process was pretty simple. Like, it was very simple to just clone it, do a pip install, and project was up and running.
And earlier, even this link here worked. It's bad luck for the stream, but
yeah, it did. It used to work.
Awesome. So yeah, it seems like the Crowns team, right? That was the name the guys have chosen for themselves. So It seems that the Crowns, they really, really lived up to the spirit of the jam. They basically done everything that we were dreaming of when we were designing this jam. Teamwork, getting to meet other people from all around the world, and making a product that is good. Really, really good. I wish we could show it to you guys, but probably they'll update this hosting link shortly, and you'll be able to view it. Definitely check it out in the description section. Cool. So that sums it up. Now the winners. They have won an amazing package with Epify. They have a 6-month subscription to get all their automation and web scraping tools in one place. And it's much more sophisticated than the web scraping we've been doing with Selenium. It actually gives you some really, really fast tools for automation. And Josh tested it already. I know it because he tried it. I know it for a fact. Cool. So this is going to be a very, very different stream from what you guys are used to. Usually I go live and I stream for 3 hours in a row, reading your comments and everything. So today we will actually look at some tech news, and I'm going to read you an article. Now, in this particular case, we are talking about Twitter, which is something that we've been covering on a channel for quite some time. We made our own Twitter bots. We have designed them, and we've proven the point that anybody can make a Twitter bot. It's so easy that honestly, I don't know if it matters if there's only 5% of them or 95% of them. As long as it's so easy to create new ones, I don't think it's a factor. So today I'm going to read you an article that not many people have access to. That's why I'm reading it. I'm just subscribed. That's why I chose it. We will read this quickly. I'm not going to read the entire article. This is obviously not a news channel. I'm only going to read it until the point that proves my point. Okay, I had a point in previous streams. Let's get on it. And then we're going to ask Tom, Josh, and Badger what they think about what's written here from the perspective of experienced developers. What exactly did we read? Okay, so let's start with this. So whistleblower says Twitter lied to Musk about spam bots with possible implications for trial, which is very, very serious. Now, a lot of us have suspected that 5% bots is too little for Twitter based on our personal experience. I mean, if you only look at the bots who subscribe to my bot, you remember Lily Potter? If we go to the followers section, check it out. Where did all those bots came from? I mean, what is it? Some of them are real people probably, but many of them are not. So it's very concerning. Now, in this article, I'm going to enlarge it slightly because I'm without my glasses and I don't see very well. So let's get on it. A whistleblower who served as Twitter security chief said in regulatory filing obtained by the Epoch Times that the social media company misled tech entrepreneur Elon Musk about the number of bots on the platform, with possible implications for the legal battle between Tesla chief and Twitter. So if you guys are not following the news right now, there is a big battle between Twitter and Elon Musk. Twitter wants Elon Musk to proceed with the deal. Elon says, hey, you guys were not truthful with me. I'm not sure what exactly I signed up for, right? If you're lying to me, I cannot buy this company for the price you gave me. And that's basically where they're at. Now, Peter Zatko, who has publicly come forward as a whistleblower, made a series of explosive allegations regarding Twitter's cybersecurity policies in a disclosure filed in July with federal regulators. There's even a PDF of the actual filing here for people who really want some hard evidence, including the claim of Twitter lying about bots to Elon Musk. Okay. Zatko's disclosure alleges that Twitter uses an opaque metric called monetizable daily active users rather than an earlier metric of total monthly users that was subject to big swings, including when spam and bot accounts were removed. So basically, instead of using one metric, that's what I understand from it, a metric to actually check how many bots there are on the platform, they were checking whether a user can be monetized or not. Correct me if I'm wrong, please, in the comments below. And if they are able to make money from this user, this probably means they're humans, okay? That's what I understand here, which is probably not a very good metric to check if bots are on the platform. From Twitter's perspective, MDAU was an improvement because it could internally define the MDAU formula and therefore report numbers that would reassure shareholders and advertisers. So basically, it produced them better numbers, and that's why they changed the formula. The disclosure states, adding that executive bonuses, which could be in excess of 10 million, are tied to MDAU growth. Okay, so give us good numbers, you get your nice bonuses. Wow. The disclosure alleges that Twitter executives are incentivized to avoid counting spam bots as MDAU in order for the platform to be more appealing to advertisers. It also claims that there are many millions of active accounts that aren't part of the MDAU calculations because they're spam bots, or Twitter doesn't think they can monetize them, but in their presence on the platform still affects user experience. Wow. Okay, let's unpack it. And here I want to hear Tom talking about this, because Tom, you are our social media expert. That's what you do. It's your bread and butter. What do you think about this?
No, I mean, it's a bit of a gray area for me. I cannot speak a lot about it, honestly. But I'll give you a little bit of a hint. Like, okay, when you define a metric, it doesn't necessarily mean it's just one metric and is not dependent on other metrics. That's what I do for a living, to be honest. So, like, there can be several sub breakdowns. Okay, so say you're looking at a metric and somebody's giving you a holistic overview, but that doesn't give you the whole story behind it. Like, okay, is it actually depending on other metadata, or is just one unique metadata? Okay, there is no way of knowing from this article, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
Then again, this is pretty much coming down from the leadership point of view. Okay, these people, they're very much tech savvy. They know what they're doing, and they make their decision. It didn't happen by accident. So,
Sure.
I mean, am I opposed to it? Yes. Did it good for the company to generate more revenue from a company point of view? Of course it did. So,
Absolutely.
which side would you pick? Like, are you being loyal to your company and trying to sell your soul or something like that? Or are you actually being deceptive and lying to your investors, where you as an investor or a shareholder, you're thinking, oh, great, I have trust in this company. It's doing great. And I'm making more money too. But for some people, that may not be all, because company adopted a policy to scam, or, it's a deceptive approach, which I personally do not support. And all in all, again, I don't know the whole story, like how this metric was used, generated, or actually impacted. But we really don't know. Like the bold word, right? Say we don't really know.
We don't know the actual algorithm. We know how they call it.
Exact algorithm.
But we haven't looked inside. Yeah.
Exactly. But if it's coming from a whistleblower, I would say, yeah, I would definitely take it seriously.
Awesome. Yeah, especially somebody who was head of security and had a big position there. He has a lot to lose. So in order to be a whistleblower,
and to be honest, and it's pretty much a common practice. Like, okay, Even if you're like a technical project manager or you're some manager, you don't necessarily code, right? You're still aware of what's going on. It's not like an engineer can randomly implement an algorithm and the manager is not aware of it. That doesn't happen very often because that's a lot of stake on the engineer itself.
For sure. Awesome, cool. So it looks like there are two conflicting concepts here. There's the concept of making money, bringing some advertisers to the platform, and the second concept is being as honest as you can. And in a field of marketing, I don't know if honesty is the best way to go. Josh, what do you think?
So it's funny because I remember when this came out and my wife and I were talking, and like taking a step back to think about Elon Musk's strategic like move there. I don't even think that he was intending on purchasing Twitter. Honestly, I just feel like this was a move for him to expose like the corruption, I guess is what I'd say, from within.
I agree.
You know, like bring it in all to light because it's such a huge media debacle, like with them having to show how all their users are and how much money they're making and all that. So I think that was his move to get them to expose like their internal like hidden structure, I guess.
Agenda?
Yeah.
Strategy? Yeah, for sure. See, what concerns me the most is that we are aware that Twitter is doing that now. But how do we know that Facebook and Instagram and all the rest of the social media platforms, how do we know that the metrics that they give us truly reflect reality? We don't really know. We've seen how easy it is to create bots, and we've seen that there's a whole economy of bots going on. There's bots following other bots. I don't know how on earth they can detect other bots, and Twitter is unable to detect them. Somehow bots are very, very talented, eh? That's just, I'm showing you Lily Potter's list of followers. Lily Potter is my bot from one of our previous streams. Still works. Nobody deleted it. The entire code is still the same, and it works perfectly. Now, Badger, my question to you is, as an expert to a lot of things, and I hope you'll have an answer for me, because I don't know if you do. How can we ever find out how many bots are on a given platform? Is there some kind of a way of doing this, or are we doomed?
I mean, there's no magic wand that you could shake and be like, give me all the bots, because like every platform on the internet, every platform on the internet suffers from bots. Like, heck, our YouTube live streams get rated by certain types of bots that I'm afraid to say the name because I don't want to do like
dating bots.
Yeah, I mean, there's other things. There's other things.
Serious relationship bots.
But there really is no magic wand, and I guess that comes up with an interesting problem: is how do you know if that's a bot? Because like your Twitter bot's up. Like, how do they know if it's a bot? It's almost impossible to like define what.
Especially if it's a hybrid.
Exactly. Well,
yeah.
I mean, we can create a solution, but then someone's going to just circumnavigate it and find a way to. There's always going to be someone that finds a way around the solution.
How I see it is that right now, if I go to the home section and I start commenting and liking on a bunch of posts, right? I'm doing this as a human, but most of the time that this bot runs, it's doing it as a bot. So I would say that this is almost impossible to detect, especially when you're using something like Selenium, which gives you a browser of your own. That's just insane, you guys. I'm thinking that we're losing hope. There's not going to be any hope for us to find out exactly how many bots each platform has. We just oversaturated the market with so many not real people. It's crazy. Wow. So yeah, that sums up this Twitter article. I wanted to continue reading and to mention that what we just said with Badger is actually the continuance of this article. We don't really know We don't really know how many bots they are. So anybody who's telling you there's 5%, there's 50%, there's 95% bots on their platform, we need to take their words with a grain of salt. Because as programmers, I don't know if it's even possible. Now, my question in terms of other things, for example, so right now you're starting your own business and you want to get some customers or you want to get some traffic coming your way. If you are competing with other businesses who are using bots, who are paying for subscribers, you don't really have the exact same playing field. So what is the reasonable thing to do? Like, what do you guys think that we should do? And please volunteer, whoever wants to speak. I don't want to give you directions.
No, I'll go first. In my opinion, you really can't. You're simply outnumbered by bots. So many of the times, and if you use Facebook or say Instagram or other social media platform, I mean, the algorithms are designed for the bot to be able to find a detective and show you advertisements like that. And those are not done manually, right? Those are done by some bots or some algorithms or something running consistently in the back end. So if you're trying to come up with your own business where you're not using any bot, then you literally have to go to door and meet people. And so
you will need to invest more of your time, basically, to get the same result that you would get if you would done it online.
Exactly, when it comes down to like, okay, what's your strategy? What's your return of investment? Is that even, financially okay to do so? I mean, that's why we have the digital platform. We don't have salespersons anymore coming knocking at your door trying to sell stuff. It just doesn't happen anymore because pretty much everybody has access to internet. And of course,
Sure.
that came with some of these disadvantages, like, you hardly get to talk to a real person even when you have a complaint. You're trying to reach a customer service phone number and you have to spend 10-15 minutes to be able to reach a real human. So
Absolutely.
it's sometimes frustrating, but then again, especially the advertisers, they target, they have their own demands. Like, okay, I want to reach out to people from this specific region who have special interest in, say, swimming pools or gardening stuff, and I am selling such product. So, hey, YouTube, show my advertise to those people, and that's not done manually, right? So it's hard to compete if you're new in the market, especially, and you're trying to compete against bots. You simply don't have enough resource to do so.
You're in a huge disadvantage. So my question is, what is the difference between creating your own bot? So let's say you're using my Selenium code, you're making your own bot, and between using a ready API services for automation, right? Those that we pay for them. Aren't they doing the exact same thing? Why do we make even a distinction between them? Badger, I see you're on.
Yeah, there is a slight difference. So let's say for Twitter, for example, Twitter has a guideline, their terms of service, where you have to use their API. And the API may actually give you access to things behind the scenes. Like maybe you can hit an API endpoint and do a query on some stuff that you could just query for that you want to see normally on the front end. Because what if they change the front end? What if they made a UI overhaul and that's going to break your Selenium thing? And Selenium, I'd rather use an API because it's a little bit more reliable, in my opinion, than front end. But
in terms of the ethics of things, is it more ethical or is it exactly the same?
Oh, I feel like it's more ethical to use their API because you have to go through the whole authentication process. They can identify who you are, do rate limiting. Because when you think about it, if you have thousands of users, trying to scrape on your website, can your website even handle that traffic? First off, and then through the API, they can rate limit you so other people can utilize their service or whatever.
I second that.
Yeah, that's why I prefer the API route because it's more legit. But for places that don't have APIs, yeah, I guess you could totally scrape. It's not ideal, but
You're not supposed to, according to the community guidelines, but still people are doing that.
yeah, I mean, people are going to do the wrong thing anyway. Like we have laws in society, but we still have criminals. Like
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Actually,
Freedom of choice.
that kind of leads into what my thought process behind botting in general is. I am a firm advocate for automation. It's kind of a struggle, right? I like the bots to a certain extent. Botting a tweet to say the weather or something, like it's once you get to that threshold where you're going over into something that's malicious, where you are trying to take from someone, you know disrupt services, all these different things, or go against, like, what the websites want, right? That if you're not ingesting through the API and following their rules, and you're hammering their front end with web scraping or whatever that they don't want, they can't throttle that kind of stuff properly, right? So basically it's a hard barrier, right? Like, is it malicious? Is it even a bot? Can we identify these things? I think we're going to continue to struggle with that in the future, but it's going to continue to grow as we get more into artificial intelligence and more into automating, like, everyday life. There's bots that they're using on their side, right, against us. They want to know what we want to purchase, all these different things. So, and they're not doing it by hand, right?
Absolutely. They're collecting all this data about us. We're providing this data voluntarily to them. We don't always know it, but we are all providing them crazy streams of data. And based on that data, they know us well enough to be able to recommend us. And this kind of connects to what Tom was saying earlier. So basically, right now, advertisers, they don't just get to advertise to people who live in British Columbia or people who live in Texas. They get to advertise to people in a certain age group, in a certain ethnicity, with certain interests in music or art. They know us very, very well, guys. And it's information that we've been providing to them, so we cannot really blame them. And every time you see the terms of service being edited in any shape or form, you better check it. I don't know if you've seen the Human Centipede episode of South Park. It was just about that. Those of you who are watching South Park are probably having a good laugh. But yeah, you always need to read the terms of service, even though it doesn't happen. Now, I have this alien lights. So I got brand new lights, very heavy duty Milwaukee lights, and it's acting up on me. It doesn't really have any, Yeah, I usually need my spouse's help with this, but he doesn't listen. He tries to be very quiet. He's in the room. He locked himself, so you cannot hear him. Yeah, I'll just turn it the other way around. My apologies if I keep flickering like an alien. It's all good. Nothing happened. It's just the lights.
Beat me up, Scotty.
Exactly. Okay, so let's have a look at the comments. Let's see what people are saying. And we have Katrina here. Katrina, who ends up solving all my exercises better than me. You can verify that in previous videos. So my experience of getting data for work purposes is that the only way usually is to do by web scraping. It saves you lots of times. Now, in my university, I have an entire module about web scraping, and they're telling you that as long as nobody is saying in the policy of the website that you're not allowed to web scrape away. It's fine. It's all good. And as long as you're not violating anybody's copyrights, basically, because I think that's what gets you. Now, we're not giving legal advice to anybody, by the way. It's a disclaimer. We're just programmers who do web scrape. I don't know if for a living, but for projects of our own. I bet you that Tom might be doing this with social media. Let's see some more comments. That's why I use ad blockers. I never see ads. Email, on the other hand, has gotten really ad laden. Yeah, there's way more ads in emails now. Let's see what else we have here.
I'd like to make a comment on the ad blockers. If you're browsing a regular website where say a third party is putting some ads, or maybe it's something coming through Google Ads, yeah, you might be able to block it. But if you're actually browsing on a platform where the host can itself show you ads, which is not coming from an external source, you can't really block it. Like, think about YouTube. You may or may not be able to block it. I know there used to be a way of doing it. I think Google blocked it. Same goes for other platforms as well. So it's useful to some extent.
So
Yeah, at a certain time, it becomes obsolete.
to piggyback off Tom, I use Pi-hole, but I have noticed that if I just randomly add repos of blocked like URLs, sometimes my developer stuff, like this content delivery networks, are just like, I'll be like, why is my app not working? Oh, because it's blocked by my Pi-hole. And it's great because it works on all devices that are on my network. It's not just my browser. But then there's the downside where like I've noticed certain streaming services will inject the ad into your video. So like it doesn't matter if you have ad blocker or not because it's in the video itself. And I was like, oh, they're coming up with more clever ways to block our ad blocker. When you think about it, we'll just inject it anyway.
Yep.
It's like we're doomed.
Exactly. Just like Katrina saying, like I pay for the YouTube Premium so I don't get ads, but every YouTuber goes, all right, now word from our sponsor, and they put it right in the video. You can't stop them from doing that.
And hey,
Guilty is charged.
also remember, especially on YouTube, for a lot of people, it's their bread and butter. You know, they're excellent content makers, and if you don't see ads, basically their channel don't generate enough money, so we're not really supporting them. So
It's a
I
good
don't know.
point, for sure.
Try to think of from every point of view. Like, okay, I'm using ad blockers. That's fine because it's annoying. I don't want to see ads. But then again, you probably hurting some other content makers in the same process.
For sure. That's why only watch the big channels when you have ad blocks. They have enough money. I'm just joking. We're not supposed to say use ad blockers, but yeah, a lot of people are using them. And again, these days we have solutions. You just kind of subscribe to a service. It usually doesn't cost a lot of money unless you're using Netflix. But yeah, there's all kinds of ways around it. Let's see some more comments. They are scraping your brain. They can they can hear your thoughts. That's right, Lee. That's what they try to do. At least they're trying to mimic your pattern of thought. So basically, on each social media platform, this is how I see it from an AI perspective. There is a virtual version of yourself. So, for example, if you have a Facebook account, Facebook has a Maria on their platform. It's a Maria bot, and it basically trained to think like I think. Because I've been on Facebook for 12 years, not anymore, but I used to be there a lot. I used to upload all the pictures from every dinner party and every time we would go out with friends. I was the one uploading the pictures. So my entire childhood was in pictures, and Facebook had it voluntarily. I provided it, as well as all the statuses, as well as all the songs I shared and the videos, all the likes I made. It knows so many things about me in the span of 12 years. And they just fed this information to what we call a neural network. So it is basically an algorithm that is doing something called prediction, and it's basing it upon the data that they collected. So, for example, based on my interest in heavy metal music for the past 12 years, Facebook knows to recommend me band A, band B, band C, but they will not recommend me Britney Spears or Lady Gaga or any of these, right? So they're customizing my experience on Facebook. Now, many people say that this is just a disguise. They say that, hey, we're customizing this for you. It's for your own comfort. It's for your own good. But in the end of the day, what they do with this data is they try to sell you things. They try to push you things, and they try to make you think in a certain way that you wouldn't necessarily think if you were not using Facebook for 12 years and providing them your data. So I want to see what you guys are thinking about it. I talked a lot.
In a way, I kind of like the idea that I have a custom tailored advertising experience for things I actually like. But then at the same time, it's like they're sharing my data with everybody. Like, it's not just them. They'll sell my data in the back end, and then I get like these things in the mail or like in my email. I'm like, oh crap, I have like so much spam. And I'm like, I don't like, just go away. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the idea of the automated stuff, but at the same time, it's scary when you think about like how there's an article on a father. I can't remember if it was based on purchase history. I think it was based on browser history, maybe purchase, but like
Wow.
he was like, no one's pregnant in my household. Why am I getting like pregnancy information like in the mail? And then like it was because his daughter was either searching for or made a purchase that was somewhat related to pregnancy. And he's like, oh.
Uh-oh.
I remember
know.
that. I do
Don't-
remember hearing about that. That's crazy.
Like, it's scary to see how accurate these things are. And my dad was telling me that, so like, I'm not going to say where he works or what he does, but like it was something to do with advertising. They're getting to the point where when you walk into a store now, they want to make it so they can be like, oh, I know you. Like, hey, we have a sale for this item on aisle like XYZ, like that you might be interested in. Like, they'll use scanners just to track your phone and give you location-based ads. It's like, oh my god, no, please no.
For sure.
I don't want to go out and just get more ads. I hate ads. That's the whole point of why we went to streaming services, was because there was no ads on there. Now they're everywhere.
You can't get away with it at this point of time. Like, there's nowhere that you look that is not filled with ads, or they would look like legitimate articles or people's posts, but they're actually ads. Many influencers are making money that way. Take a picture doing this and that, do this and that hashtag, and boom, here's your money. You would never know that this was a sponsored ad. On YouTube, you usually have a way of letting people know that you received money for that, but on other platforms, I am yet to see some kind of a mechanism like that. So the usual argument in response to what Badger said is, what do you have to hide? Well, you must be doing everything by the book. If you're not a criminal, what exactly are you hiding? Right? I want to see what you guys are answering to this, if you have a good answer. No, silence.
I just like, some of us just like to be left alone when you think about it. Like, I only want ads from things I want ads from. Like, I like a subscription service. I don't want to be reached out for, like, by some, like, I moved into a house, I bought a house, and like first week I get a call from like a freaking roofer. I'm like, how do you have my number? Why are you calling me about a roof? Like, the house is brand new. I don't need a roof. Leave me alone, please. Like, just leave me alone. Like, I just want to be left alone. That's it.
I'm kind of on the other end of that spectrum. I've come to somewhat embrace it, right? So like when I'm on YouTube, it starts recommending videos that I like based on my past history. If I'm shopping, I've looked up drones, and now I have a multiple selection of different drones. So I mean, it can be good. I can see where it becomes a little overwhelming and they have too much information. But at the same time, it's coming in value sometimes, right? When I'm sliding through TikTok, my wife, hers is nursing stuff. It's way different. And I have like a bunch of animals and like random TikToks, and they don't line up. Sometimes they do, but you know, if you come to embrace it just a little bit, maybe we need to govern it, right? Shouldn't just let everything run rampant, but at the same time, it can be good. And I think you should have the option, right? You should be able to turn on and off your privacy. So,
well, I think we are like, what's the word? Like, for me, it's like I want to subscribe to a service. So like, if I'm on YouTube, it makes sense. Like, okay, YouTube learns me. I get things based on my YouTube search history, my patterns. That makes sense. But like, for me, it's like when I'm on a platform, I'm on that platform, and then like something totally outside that platform is now reaching out to me. It's like, no, I don't know. Like, if I opted into that, sure. But if I'm not opted into it, don't talk to me, don't bother me. I don't care. Like, but now it's like at a point where I don't have my phone on me all the time because I get so many spam calls that I'm just like, if someone was legitimately like hurt or whatever, like, I'm like, I don't know this number. Like, bye. Like, nope. I'm just leaving my phone. Like, if I'm not expecting a call from somebody or text, like, I'm not going to be looking at my phone. That's how bad it is these days. Like, because it's like, it's insane.
I'm the same. Yeah. It's mostly fake surveys.
Right? Or like, oh, you want a trip to Costa Rica or like some cruise or some stupid stuff, and it's like, yeah, nice try.
So here's a different thought. How many of you guys still have cable and actually actively watch it?
You have cable?
I wouldn't have it even if they paid me.
Exactly. So remember, before the streaming services, that was pretty much all people could watch, right? And why I personally didn't like the cable service itself in first place was because of ads. It's overwhelmingly full of ads. Okay, every 5 minutes, if not every 3 minutes. Okay, I didn't like it, so I chose the other route to actually pay for a subscription and be able to watch something at my own pace, and I don't have to worry about ads. Okay, but still, people, there are certain age group or group of people who are still watching cable. But how do you know about a product that exists, or even any kind of innovation, if you're not watching ads? So say you're not watching cable, you're fully gone streaming, you're paying for your subscription where you don't see any ads at all. But then
you're alone in the middle of the woods.
yeah, all you do is just say watch YouTube Premium, or maybe not even YouTube. Something is ready like Netflix or Hulu or something like that. You don't watch any ads at all. Then how do you know about a product, regardless of the fact you need it or not? Okay, but it's that kind of touch which can make your life a bit easier. Okay, maybe you have a nice house, but there is a really nice attachment you can purchase and make your life better. It may not even be expensive, but it's very useful. But you completely wouldn't know about that product if you don't see it yet. So, I mean, there can be a lot of things, especially for small businesses. They do get hurt a lot if there will be no ads.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, same goes for Amazon, right? You go on Amazon, of course, Amazon's pretty much scanning your interest and showing you products based on your interest. But then again, there are other counterpart or counter argument that Amazon tries to highlight products from which they get the most incentive from. So you can't really win. I don't know which route to take.
So I think I can summarize what we've been talking about, and I think I have a solution. In the end of the day, ads and commercials and recommendation system, on one hand, they make our lives way more convenient. We can reach everything in a click. Everything is ready for us. We're good to go. One day, our refrigerator will fill in the milk like that. We don't even need to go to the store. One day it will happen. But the downside is our data is being collected from all those platforms. Now, from how I see it right now, is those platforms are communicating with one another. So basically, if you're canceled on Facebook, most likely you'll be canceled on Instagram and YouTube as well. We've seen with Parler that they even got canceled by Android and by big companies, by their hosting services, Amazon. So in the end of the day, I think when it comes to solving this problem is decentralizing all this data. So instead of all these companies collecting data about us and sharing it with one another, there has to be some kind of a limitation in terms of what data they can share with which company. So if it's another social media platform, it's a big, big no-no. If it's a government organization that will now persecute you for certain stuff, there has to be certain limits when it comes there. So I'm curious, we don't have much time. We have 12 more minutes because we're trying to keep it about an hour long. The guys that are busy, they need to go. So my question to you is, if right now, all these companies, they would separate their data from one another, will it be a solution to this data collection problem? Or do we need something else?
Well, first, like, if it's decentralized, one, who manages it? Like, who's going to be in charge of managing that? And then two, now you just open up an entire attack vector where everybody is now like, oh, all your data stored here. And that's going to be like everyone's going to flock to that. Like they're no longer going to flock to Facebook to get your data because now they can just go to the central location and be like, oh, maybe you have like passwords, usernames, birth dates, your mother's maiden name, and all that crap on there. So it's like, who's going to manage that? And then like, how are you going to make it secure? And then how are you
So my point was the other one.
Oh.
My point was to do it the other way around. So right now, I believe that all these platforms are sharing data with one another. It's not something that I can physically prove, but it's something that a lot of people have testified about, especially people who got canceled. There are certain people who were prevented to speak on Twitter, and at the very same time, they got emails from YouTube and from Facebook and from other social media that has nothing to do with Twitter. It's not the same company. It's not the same shareholders or anything. It's a completely different entity. So how do they know that person A and B offended somebody on platform A, and therefore he's not allowed to speak anywhere? This is my biggest problem, because if each of those platforms were not sharing information with one another, they would never know.
I was kind of leaning that way as well, not with the data sharing, but, and it's hard for me to say this because it's, America and we're all about like freedoms and everything. But at a certain point, I think we should implement some sort of rules and regulations, right? When you're registering for a phone number, is it going to be a bot? That is it like a bannable offense, right? All these spam calls that we were talking about earlier. When you sign up for a Twitter account, is it coming from the same person every time? Like, obviously there's different ways around all these things, but if we start implementing rules and regulations to a certain extent, right? So to something that's reasonable for the greater good. I mean, I think that needs to be implemented, and it's a worldwide thing. I mean, if it means we got to cut people off, I mean, that so be it. If they're that malicious and it's not more beneficial for us than it is a hindrance to the world, then cut the country off, cut the zone off, whatever, and start narrowing down the people that are taking money from people, doing malicious things. I think that's where the barrier needs to be, malicious.
From a security perspective. So not offensive, but malicious.
Right.
That's the key word.
I can get behind that. But I think the next area is that if there's that gray area, it's like, how do you define like the rules for that? Like if we were to think of laws that govern this, like it needs to be specific, or like, because if it's too broad and we want to hold a company accountable, like, hey, you didn't follow this, like we would have to know what the solution is, basically. It's very hard to know what that solution is. Like, it's like, so when you go to content that's locked behind an age wall, like they're like, how old are you? I can literally just scroll until I hit a date. Like, how do they know I'm actually 18 plus years old for that? They don't. There's no way. Like,
that brings us back to the point we started from the beginning of this live stream. How can we know what is true and what is not when we're dealing with online entities?
Exactly. Like, there's that whole authentication piece that's like very hard to pick out. Even if you have like multi-factor authentication, like, how do I know that someone just didn't go through the motions of like somehow creating this loop?
I mean, if you're a true person with regular intent, you don't have any ill intent, you should have no reason to not identify who you are when you're signing up for certain things. So maybe make things more strict, like, and that all falls on the services, right? What is it? I love their API, Twilio, like, to be able to send text messages and stuff, you got to sign up for an account and use their API. All the different services that you can use, like, buying a phone number and creating spam calls, the different.
You don't need to buy. You don't need to buy anymore, Josh. Okay, I'll tell you about a program that my uncle and my aunt wrote recently. Well, I guess about 2 months ago. Right now they're on vacation. But I got a phone call from my uncle who lives in Boston. I got a phone call saying they're calling from Ontario, Canada. So they're in a completely different location. They have a completely different phone number. and yet they are able to utilize their programming skills to make this call to me. I've seen it. I was shocked. I picked up the phone. Hi, Maria. This is Lena. How are you? Lena, you're not in Ontario. What's going on? So
Yeah, it's so easy. One of the things that I have a problem with at work is, we're a worldwide company at my job, and like we can't block countries. We can't say only U.S. because we have different things going on in other countries, and a lot of these services come through like Microsoft, so it looks like it's even coming through US. I mean, you could spoof your IP, your location, and everything, so it's really hard to determine who's a valid user or not when you're looking at the data.
absolutely. You can hide behind a bunch of proxies, and it will be so hard to detect who you are. It's incredible, you guys. The more we talk, the more I'm scared.
Welcome
How
to
will we ever solve it?
cybersecurity.
Exactly. Exactly. Wow. So before we go, we have 5 more minutes. Let's see if there are any interesting comments here. So there was a point made here earlier. I wanted to share it. The issue is, who's designing these rules? And what if those people are bad actors themselves? So how do we make sure that the heads of the company are not corrupt? Because it's very easy to get corrupt where you're in these positions of power. You control too much, right? So that's a good point.
I would say
Yeah.
it's just like picking your representative, like a politician or somebody. You just have to put your faith
Exactly.
in it and just cross your fingers and hope they're a nice person. And
I think kind of what I was saying earlier, though, is like it falls on the individuals, right? Meta and YouTube and all these big platforms, they can also start assisting in their rules and regulations, right? We see their policies all the time, but they could be doing more. I mean, they make tons of money. They can reinvest back into themselves for bot detection, better rules, an easier, streamlined way to sign up and whatnot. So
For sure. They're hiding behind CAPTCHAs. Well, CAPTCHAs are breakable. I don't know if easily breakable. I don't know if it's a beginner's thing, but they are breakable. There are all kinds of tools around them. It's not an actual Turing test. We're not really detecting whether it's a software or a computer with those CAPTCHAs. So I don't know if it's good enough of a mechanism to prevent bots. And I think that if those platforms didn't want to have any automation going on there, they didn't want to have any bots or fake accounts, we wouldn't have the ability to make them. People have the tools to prevent it from happening, but I don't know if they have the tools to count how many of these instances are happening. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, the awesome team of mods, Tom, Josh, and Badger. Thank you for showing your faces. Josh, thank you. Tom and Badger are slightly hiding, but that's okay. We actually don't know how Badger looks like. We have no idea. We think he's an actual Badger.
true.
I could have trimmed up this morning.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining our live stream. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. They're busy guys. They gotta go. You're busy, busy, busy. So yeah, thank you so much for being here.
thank you for inviting us. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, make sure to come
Absolutely.
visit us on Discord.
Oh yes.
Yeah, link
Come
is
visit
in the
us.
description.
Join. What are you doing? Join us. Oh, and hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, hit the subscribe button and join Discord. Share the video. Thank you very much. Thank you. This is actually Josh. He's controlling the stream as well, and he can actually comment in my name if he really wants to. I'm happy he didn't abuse this power.
No. That's not him. That's just your alter personality. It's like, yeah.
Exactly. It's my evil twin. It's my Awesome. Cool. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being in the comments. I had some issues with lights. We're not going to keep it a very long stream. Thank you guys for showing up. Sinisa, great seeing you for sure. Yeah. Thank you for the comments. I'm going to end this stream.
I'd say in the comments, let us know if you want us to do more of these. I thought it was pretty fun.
I agree. I had fun too.
Yeah, thanks for having us. I'm going to go ahead and leave now. So have a good day.
Good
Yeah,
day.
thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for having us.
Bye.
Awesome.
Toodles.
Okay. Awesome. They're being automatically removed when they leave. Awesome. So we've been testing this ability to do live streams together. I might stick around for a bit longer because I see there's a bunch of comments here that I want to answer before everybody leaves, even though everybody thought we're leaving. But yeah, I joined late. I don't know what is Badger's voice, but animation is funny. You only have to hide behind avatar if you talk about politics a lot. No, we didn't really talk about politics. We talked about things that are scratching the surface of politics, but not exactly politics. I guess everything is political these days, no matter how you look at it. Cool. Can confirm that Badger looks like a badger. Exactly. Actually, I need to draw a nicer animation for him. Something that is truly an illustration. Awesome. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for the live stream, Maria. Glad I was able to make it. Awesome. Thank you, Steve. Glad to see you around. Yeah. What I heard was great. We'll have to rewatch it later. Bye, y'all. Bye. I'm not leaving yet. And yeah, here's Tom. This is how Tom looks like, actually. Perfect. So yeah, cool. Thank you guys for joining our live chat for the 500th time. Yeah, I've been thanking everyone a lot, but that's okay. I'm Canadian. We're very polite. We do this all the time. I'll see you soon in a brand new tutorial, I guess. In a week or two, I'm actually nearing my final exam, so I might be a bit busier than usually, but I'm working on one of the coolest things I've ever tried so far is streaming real life data and plotting it and having plots that are updating in real life. I don't know. It makes me feel like a super powerful programmer. And we will do this. We will try to load data from a Coinbase. It's an exchange of cryptocurrency, and we'll then manipulate this data live, okay, as it goes. We will try to predict also where the market goes. We will look at some stats. It's going to be amazing. So that's what I've been working on in the past few days. I'll be making a lesson plan very soon. And of course, we'll need to continue with the Django series. I also promised you a DeerPie GUI tutorial, as well as a, what was it? Decorators. That's right. I promised you a decorators one. So there's plenty of things to do, plenty of things to create. Oh, Kakadu FM was updated 11 minutes ago. Perfect. We can definitely check it out. We'll see for the next stream if we'll be able to run it, and then I'll present it to you guys as well. It's one of the projects from our Code Jam. Awesome. Been watching your videos, finally caught alive. Awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to go live at around 10:30 Pacific time, of course, Vancouver time. And yeah, I'll be here more often. I'll try to do this every week. Especially now when I have the exams at school, I might just do live streams instead of actual videos. We'll see. Also, there's an upcoming stream with Geeks for Geeks. They replied to me, so we are setting it up. I need to reply to them back and see exactly the dates that we can make it work. And this is going to be a find a job in the field of tech kind of a stream. We will ask them all kinds of questions because Geeks for Geeks are preparing people for tech jobs, and that's their expertise pretty much. And I get a lot of job-related questions. I don't feel right answering them because I'm just a student. So I'm going to talk to people who know a bit more than myself on the field. Okay, I actually like to watch more stuff, more short stuff. I already know, but I saved Django video for later. Maria, those shorts are also fun, coding and non-coding. Cool. Yeah, I've been trying my luck with shorts. I don't know. I don't know if I'm really particularly good at it, but yeah, I'll keep going. You got to do this for YouTube. It's something that really exposes your channel to new viewers. If you don't do this, you don't really get as much exposure. And I should start doing some marketing and things of that sort. Udbav, hello. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. You just missed everybody. You just missed Tom and Badger and Josh. Now the winner, I'm going to pull it out. Vaporwave It. The crowns won due to modularity and due to the spirit of the jam. They were doing a lot of teamwork, which was very important. It was a very important factor. And generally, they've done something very sophisticated. They created their own WebSocket for audio, which was insane. It was really good. Yeah, it was very impressive. Okay, how is college? College, university. Come on, university. Have you completed the semester courses? So my exams are starting from the beginning of September up to September 15th, and then moving on to the next module. I'm going to take, it's the next semester, and I'm going to take less modules in the next semester, so I'm more available for filming things. I only have 7 modules left, and then I graduate, and I'm done. I haven't failed any course, knock on wood, not planning to. So yeah, so far my grades are really, really good, but this semester I'm trying to see if I can get away with less. You start slacking off after a few years of that. Let's see what else we have here. A few last comments before. Ooh, there's a bunch of them, you guys. Wow. Anyone good with front and back end development? I guess there's a bunch of folks who are doing professional web development. If you check out my recent Django tutorial, in the pinned comment, there is an answer, not the comment itself, but one of the replies is by a person who is very, very proficient with web development and is doing Django development in particular. I would go to that comment and I would ask him. Let's see if I can pull it out. I'll just go to my YouTube. Ooh. Yeah, forget about it. Just go to my channel and pull out the recent Django Quick Start tutorial. You'll find it there. It's very easy. I like the comments on the the competition winners. Maybe you could do some streams that just show off interesting tools project with a bit about them. Absolutely. If you guys have some cool projects to share with me, definitely do. If we're already talking about this in the stream, definitely comment it below. I'm checking the most recent comments on every new upload of mine, as well as streams. So definitely do this as everything is fresh. Later on, I kind of move on with other stuff. I'm making a web app in Flask for Python that downloads market data and financial analysis. You're gonna love my next tutorial. When it's ready, I will share it with you for review, Maria. Awesome, yeah, for sure. I would love to review it. I don't know if I'm a qualified reviewer. I'm still a student, but I bet you I'll have some feedback. I am very judgmental. Okay, that's the good part. That's what makes me good at checking things. Very judgmental, not towards other people, but mostly towards myself. If you see my trail of thought when I'm editing videos, you'll think I'm crazy. I'm literally editing out me breathing very, very often. So yeah, that's why you don't hear a lot of breaths. Join the Python Simplified Discord channel. Absolutely. And Andromedus has done it about 2 months ago. I don't think he regrets. Yeah. We have amazing conversations there. There's lots of funny memes, and there's really great people, folks from the same community as us, also progressing on their programming journey. We're really supporting each other, and it's really nice. Tons of great people. We talk about code and anything else that comes to mind. A very warm and accepting group. Awesome, for sure. Definitely join us. Definitely. Here's a testimony. C++ or Python. Well, it depends for what. That's you can't replace one with another. One of them is a very high level language and the other is a very low level language. So with C++, I would create desktop programs, things that are heavy on CPU and need to run fast and need to be processed efficiently, because with C++ you have a bit more control over your data, over your software, and over how this data is being manifested by your hardware. With Python, you can do more things and you can do them faster. You can code them faster, but they will not run as fast as C++ would run. Even if you're using the most advanced Python libraries, those that are running with CPython, they're way faster than just pure Python libraries. Even so, C++ will most likely be faster. I haven't physically tested it, but the rumor says so. I'm just conveying the rumor. I'm just letting you know. And yeah, cool. Привет. Oh, opa. Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand those comments. Is persistence still here? No, they left. They have work to do. They had to go. They're busy people, unlike myself, who's a student. So yeah, folks, thanks for being here. Thank you so much for showing up for this live stream. I'm gonna end it. I replied to a bunch of your comments, and thank you so much for keep commenting me. As long as you keep commenting, I'm sticking around. So yeah. Anyhow, bye bye, everybody. Have a great day and see you soon. Bye bye.